once in a while somebody will message me from one of my Facebook groups, and they'll go, I want to get monetized. How do I go about doing it? And my response is always the same. It's like, if you're going to get on YouTube, enjoy what you're doing and don't worry about that.
And welcome back to the Riley Black Project. Chris and John. I was almost about to say howdy.
I mean, you should have.
Right? As you can tell, we are back from Texas. I got my hat. It's not a prop. I've been wearing this since Texas.
Time.
I've gotten into hats.
You left the other light on.
What light? No, I didn't. What are you talking about?
Oh, you turned it down? Okay, never mind. It just seems bright.
Yeah, because you're look at the monitor down there. You'll see that it's not.
Okay.
This monitor's.
Right.
I gotta fix the colors on this.
Okay.
Anyway,
carry on.
See, she doesn't like my hat. I know she doesn't like my hat. But I love my hat.
I don't love it, but I don't hate it. I'm like,
yeah,
but it does make me roll my eyes every once in a while. It does.
Well, it's all right. Yeah. So does the face, because as you can see, I'm also.
It does. It's a little. A
lot of things
still
happened in Texas.
Yes, but you have a 5 o'clock shadow now.
Yes, I do.
Woohoo!
Yeah, that hat is kind of hot because it's felt. And I've learned through hat culture that straw hats are for
coolest
for summer and
probably
felt
breeze,
hats.
Right?
Although we are in September.
Yes.
So months with the R, you can wear the felt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's
probably everywhere but Florida.
I've gone down a wormhole of cowboy hats and cowboy hat etiquette. Did you know that the proper way to put down a hat is like that?
Yeah, that's surprising.
Yeah, and not like this, because this affects the brain. Anyway, enough about hat talk. That's for a different podcast. Well, we've been on the road, but that's why we're a little late with the names. But it's beginning of the month, so
you're right. You ready for the speed read?
For the speed read of the names.
All right. Maria with Sewing Bee Studio, Heidi Campbell, Tanner with Kim and Garrett, Ann Hotchkiss, Melody P, Taimada, Pam with Barefoot Inspirations, Alicia Logan, Christian C, Christian with Tumbly House Creative, Kim and Garrett Make It, Patricia L, Michelle with Edwards Stitch and Laser, Toby with Cuddle.xyz, Christina M, Jen with Laser Last Design Co, Candy with Turtle to Go Creations, Sheila with Sign Inspirations LLC, Natalie C, Hannah B, Daniel with Alive Pixel, Danny McManus, Stephanie with Pretty Pity Design. I'm struggling today. Catherine with Primary Market, Bree with The Burn Shack, Aaron with Aaron's Acrylic Animals, Christy C, Jess with JT Financial Studio, Rexy with Spreading Stardust, Tyler Lynn with Global Designs, Superfan Brandy, Victor with Excited Adam, Katie with Monarch Pine, Lisa, David with Creative Cut Supplies, Stephanie L, Barbie C, Madison B, Emily, That Mom with Laser, Mark with Big Blue Laser Designs, Kathy Ray, The Testing Queen, MJ and with Craft and Carry Customs, Ryan with Sprouts Creations, and patron number 1, Will with Crazy Laser Dad.
We thank you guys so much for your support, and now to the rest of the show. This show is brought to you by
Katie with Monarch Pine. If you are looking for jewelry or metal blanks, check her out. Jewelry findings or metal blanks. Check her out on her website, monarchpine.com, and make sure to use code Riley Black for 10% off. Of course, our patrons get a higher discount.
As always. And if you're a patron and you're not part of the TRBP Hangout Facebook group, join now. That's where she eventually puts all the discounts, and we do our after darks there.
Yep.
But not to be left out, Gen Pop, you also have a Facebook group, because everybody has a Facebook group. So the Riley Black Project Community Facebook group, that's where I shaved. That's where the reactions to my mom, the boys, and all the fun stuff happens. We are posting a lot more now.
Yes,
there,
we're trying
regularly. So follow there. And also a shout out to our other sponsors, which you'll see their ads run later.
I wanted to add them in because yes, their ads are in there, but just in case, you're one of those that always skips through the ads, I wanted to give them a quick shout out.
So shout out to Crazy Laser Dad, Will Louie, and Eon USA. Thanks for all your support. Is there a third note? Because it is again Monarch Pine.
Oh yeah, it is.
It is again Monarch Pine.
And Keychain Thingies right now is our fourth.
Keychain Thingies right now
sponsor.
is the sponsor. And in air, this is a great segue of that infomercial that I did for Keychain Thingies. You might be seeing a new infomercial out there.
Yes.
Done by
It's pretty great.
So he is our guest today. He's great. He's done ours. He's done stuff Lone Star Adhesive for Blake over at Great Lakes Laser Supply. He was an extra in my favorite show from the 80s, Miami Vice, which when I read that, I was mind blown. And I was like, he has no idea that was like one of my childhood favorite
I read it and I was
shows.
like, oh, John's going to geek out.
He also was a DJ. In one of the top DJs
cool.
on the East Coast in the 80s.
What was that?
Which is it's
I mean, it sounds like he likes to party.
He does. He's lived a bunch of lives. And he's also kid friendly because he spent 25 years in Disney World.
Oh, true.
Like from like all over. So he'll talk about all his lives that he spent. Now in the laser world is his like 15th life.
Right.
So welcome to the show. A cat apparently. Roy because cats have 9 lives.
Oh.
Roy from Industrial
Fringe.
Industrial Fringe. Welcome to the show.
And somebody needed a beard.
Yeah. I'm
Someone
jealous
does.
from your growth.
Somebody needed one, and
Yeah. Daniel
Here it
still
is.
has his, unfortunately.
Daniel still has his.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
But
How y'all doing?
Good. How are you?
Good.
I am fantastic. Oh my gosh, that conference was so awesome.
It was.
I mean, I've been living under a rock and didn't know it.
Yeah.
I mean, all the people, y'all, Blake. I mean, I talked to Blake a lot, but I'd never met him.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, so when did you, before we get into all your backstory, when did you get your first laser?
So what happened is I had been doing sublimation for about 2 years. And a representative from X-Tool reached out and said, would you like to try the F1? And I had been, for about 6 months, I had been wanting to get either a 3D printer or a laser.
Yeah.
And I was saving up that money. I didn't know which one. I didn't know a lot about either one. I had owned a CNC machine several years back, so I knew a little bit about that technology. And so I said, hell yeah, I'll take that laser. And so I immediately learned I love lasering a lot.
Nice.
And that's kind of how it got started.
So when was that?
That would have been maybe 2 years ago now.
Oh, okay.
But here's the funny thing. I knew nothing about it, right? So I start with Creative Space, with X-Tools Creative Space. And I went on YouTube and I looked and I'm like, because I had a sublimation, the YouTube was doing the sublimation stuff.
Okay.
And I couldn't find the new tutorials were like right here. Just like I want to know how to turn it on. I mean, I need to know the very, very basic.
Right.
And so I thought, since that's not there, I'm going to record as I'm doing it. And that's kind of what led me into shifting to, I'd like to say adding, but I haven't done any sublimation videos in a while, but shifting to the lasering.
Yeah, that's so cool. I mean, but then that's 2 years basically that you kind of went without knowing, I guess, this other side of the laser world.
Oh yeah. And yes, because I'm new. I'm brand new. And part of me wants to know it all. But part of me, bless you.
Excuse me. Thank
but
you.
part of me wants to still be very new, seeing that's how I think a good chunk of my audience is that newer people, right? So I'm trying to make sure. I just released a video this morning, and when I released it, I thought I might be a little bit more detailed than I want it to be for somebody that's brand new. But we'll throw it out there and see.
I feel like you could have a little bit of both, though. I think having a good mix, like having that super basic content for the newbies that it doesn't immediately go over their head, and then the other stuff that it's like, oh, okay, you've mastered that, here's something else for you. I think having both isn't necessarily a bad thing, because then if they do need something more advanced, they may be able to get that from you as well without having to go look for someone else to follow. And
naturally, as you grow and you start learning more, so will your content, and
hopefully
it's only
they will
inevitable.
grow.
Right. And they can always reference back to older content. You can even mention that in your newer content.
All the wrong stuff that I did.
Exactly. Go
we
watch.
all do it.
Yeah. Go watch me mess. I mean, we do it all the time. Go back to listen to episode 1 or 2, the first 5, where like
just don't.
Some crystals in this ear and I'm in this ear, and I can go back. I could go back now and fix it, but why? Because it shows growth. So yeah, I think people love to follow along as well and see your growth and everything like that. That's great.
Yeah.
So, how did it all evolve into what it is now? So you were DJing. So tell us a little bit about that.
The Riley Black Project is sponsored by Monarch Pine.
Monarch Pine is your trusted source for premium laser blanks and jewelry findings. From large loop earring hooks made specifically for acrylic and wood earrings to laser-tested stainless steel necklace and bracelet blanks, they have everything you need to bring your creative ideas to life.
As a maker, you know the value of quality supplies. And that's exactly what Monarch Pine delivers. Whether you're crafting as a hobby or running a full-time business, their products make it easy to design confidently and create stunning pieces.
Head to monarchpine.com and use code RileyBlack to get 10% off your order. Riley Black patrons get an even bigger discount, so don't miss out.
While you're at it, join the Monarch Pine Craft Supply Insiders Facebook group. It's a vibrant community where makers share tips, inspiration, and their incredible creations.
Monarch Pine, where your creativity takes center stage. Visit monarchpine.com and use code RileyBlack today.
Not tomorrow.
Today. Hey guys, how great would it feel if this was the year you finally got to escape the 9-to-5 and embrace a lifestyle of creativity and entrepreneurship?
Every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern, Eon Laser USA invites you to join the Above and Beyond webinar, where you'll learn how you can make this a reality.
Join leading laser industry professional and brand ambassador Emily, aka That Mom with a Laser, and Eon Laser USA's sales manager Alicia as they dive into all things Eon.
Learn about the advantages of owning an Eon laser and get the scoop on Eon's rewards and partner benefits. Plus, get a glimpse at how everyday people who started out with zero experience paid off their lasers, scaled their businesses, and transformed their lifestyles.
So if you're ready for a lifestyle change, head on over to eonlaser.us/whyus and sign up for the Above and Beyond webinar today.
Thanks for listening. Laser on.
Bye.
So I spent a career, 20 years DJing in clubs.
Nice.
And it was mostly in a couple of places in North Carolina, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, Atlanta, and South Florida were the different areas and it was club DJing. And in the process of that, I learned
What clubs in South Florida?
In South Florida, it was in West Palm Beach, it was Peabody Marriott up in Palm Beach Gardens.
Mm-hmm.
I worked up there, and I worked at the Glades in Boca Raton.
Nice.
Okay, so you stayed north.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit north of Miami. I only went down there when I was filming.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But anyway, so I learned about editing music and really fell in love with that. And so I got a really good connection and started doing remixes for record labels, which is kind of where the YouTube part is now, because I enjoyed doing that so much for so long.
Yeah.
And they were hiring. I was a huge Disney fan, and they were hiring at Pleasure Island for DJs. So I said, you know what, I'm going to go apply. And so I got a job there, and it was a very different experience because in the previous world it was in clubs. And Disney was, even though it was clubs, it wasn't
right.
So I learned a lot, but I also realized that I had an opportunity for growth, which there were a couple of clubs I went to in my career that I'd walk up and the doors would be locked and my records would be in there because they closed down, and then how do you go and get that out? It's such a volatile, weird world. And so Disney was great because there was stability. I got this thing called insurance, which was like really cool.
Right? That's insane. Yeah.
And this was really a paycheck that was, and so I just started moving up in the company there. I got a manager job there, and then moved into the parks and was in entertainment almost the whole time. Mm-hmm. And I met a guy that became a really good friend of mine who did a lot of work as a third-party consultant, or as a third party for Disney. All their phone cases he makes. He worked with Lucasfilm to create a working R2-D2, and his office is amazing. There's a couple of them in the front, and
I can imagine.
He's got a Land Cruiser, a real life-size Land Cruiser, and it's pretty awesome. But he's the one that I first saw sublimation. This was way back, and so my wife was like, "Well, I retired," and my wife's like, "You got to do something. You need to find
You're bothering me.
You need to, please." And so she does clothing. And so she had, she would buy shirts, like T-shirts with funny little sayings on them, but she'd have to buy 2 small, 2 medium, 2 large, 2 extra large. And she said, "I want 5 of one size." And I'm like, "I can sublimate them." So I went and got me a heat press, and I went and got a printer and went through all that. Beautiful size, medium or large, whatever she wanted, shirt with a snarky little saying on it. I'm like, here it is, honey. This is what we can do.
She sounds like my people. That's why I got a silhouette, was so that I could make those kinds of shirts.
Well, she goes, it's white. I need black.
Can't do that.
I can't do that and it needs to be cotton. I'm like, I can't do that. So
Right.
that was our 10 minutes of working together. And then COVID came and everybody needed masks. So that's really when I started diving into it and doing a whole lot of masks, and then got into tumblers and just started really enjoying it. And same thing with sublimation. I couldn't find anything on the internet, on YouTube, that was quite at my level. So I just figured as I'm doing it, I'm going to, I'll talk to a wall. So I'm going to put a camera up and just kind of, do it as I go along.
Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I will say you definitely have a
no, it's just
natural. You have a presence. No, you're just a natural on camera, and the way you explain things and the way I don't know how many takes it takes you. I can imagine that you're pretty solid. So I would think like 1 or 2, and the second one is for safety and for alternates. But
boy, that'd be nice.
Well, you play it off well.
I will tell you, at the end, with the exception of the videos I did at the conference, the end of every video has 15 to 45 seconds of my outtakes.
Nice.
And
I love that though.
Oh, that's me. That last minute is me. After everything, it's like,
yeah. So that's my favorite part to add to any kind of video that I can, especially if it's like appropriate for me to add. I always add my bloopers to the end to like show you like, hey, this is what we cut out because it's just ridiculous,
this is so real.
Yeah, exactly. And well, I mean, that's actually what I got great feedback on when I was making my LED course. I was sharing a lot of the bloopers, like as we were like recording stuff, and people were like, please include these in the course. And I was like, say less.
Right. What?
So at the end of every lesson, we'd include like the funniest, bloopers from me trying to record stuff. And yeah, again, they were my favorite part because it's like, sure, we can learn and be serious, but like, let's laugh a little at the end of like the ridiculous things that I did trying this for the 20th time.
Yeah.
How'd you land the extra work on the last season of Miami Vice?
Okay, so I was in a club called The Bounty in Boca. I owned a club in South Carolina, and it ended up, they say location's everything. Location's everything. It wasn't in the right location. And so anyway, we ended up closing down. It was a great club called Streamers in Myrtle Beach. It was fantastic. But I had a friend that lived in South Florida, and he said, I got this company and they are looking for a DJ. So you could come down here and live with me for a little while. I'm like, cool. He lived in Boca in a very nice house. I'm like, yeah, I can hang here for a while.
Right? Yeah, no problem.
So I had to audition at a different club because they hadn't let go of the DJ at the club I was auditioning for. So I'm standing there, kind of nervous, real nervous, waiting to go and DJ a set, right? And this lady comes up to me. I'm standing at the bar, and she goes, "Hey, how you doing?" And I said, "I'm good. How you doing?" And I'm in this mindset of I gotta focus. I gotta. What am I gonna?
Bother me, lady.
Yeah. And she goes, So what do you do? I said, I'm a club DJ. And she goes, you an actor? I said, no, I'm not an actor. She goes, you want to be? And I'm thinking to myself, this is not a good time for pickup. I don't, and I've never heard anything like this.
Where are you going with this?
I have no money, lady.
I have, right.
You're barking up the wrong tree.
Right. Very wrong tree. And so she goes, well, would you like to be an actor? I'm like, okay, sure, I'll buy it. Yeah. Doing what? And she goes, Vice. I said, Vice? And she goes, Miami Vice. I'm like, oh, okay. And she goes, she was kind of rude to be picking me up. And I was like, you're not doing a good job.
Right.
So she writes down this number. She goes, call this. Do you have more clothes like that? Because I had very, very Tubbs Vice look. I had the suspenders and like a purple shirt. My hair was like really long, and it was I think I had it in a ponytail at the time. She goes, I want you to have that look, wear those kinds of clothes, call this number, and you'll come to South Beach at this address on Thursday. And I was like,
Okay.
oh, fine, whatever. I'm thinking that she's just whatever. And so
Right.
I go and I audition. I get home and I tell my roommate about it. And he goes, well, call the number. And I'm like, it can't be. It can't be. It's Miami Vice.
Right.
And so the next morning I call the number and they're like, can you beat so-and-so? It was somebody, yet another rude person. And they're like, can you beat so-and-so, so-and-so? And so I said, yeah. And so I drove down from Boca to South Beach and I became an extra on Miami Vice.
That's so
I was
cool.
in, I think, 6 or 7 of them. I got cut on several of them. There were a couple of them it was a very weird experience because I wasn't an actor at
Right.
all.
Right.
And all these other extras, they're actors. They're like, I'm going to make it big. I'm a professional actor. Well, where do you work? And I'm like,
Right.
Club in Boca. I don't,
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not an actor. And so it was very funny because we did this one scene in this house, beautiful house in South Beach. And so the assistant director goes, you and your lovers, come here. Now, I'm a very shy person. Might not realize that, but I
Right.
can be very introverted until I get, in front of
Same.
a camera or something else.
Yep.
And you're not in front of a camera. You're just standing off to the side.
Right.
So I go
Right.
up with this absolutely gorgeous girl. And she goes, hey, how are you? How long have you been acting? I'm like, 10 minutes?
Right.
And so she immediately knows she's like not been set up with a good. And he walks by and he goes, no, you guys start like making out and
Oh,
and
God.
hanging out.
Rough day at the office, if you say so.
Really was. I'm like, so do you drive on I-4 any? I'm like leaning in. I don't know what to talk about. I don't know how this works. So that was my
Right.
very first experience with them.
That's so
But yeah, I was
funny.
on it, I think 6 times. It was fun. A lot of fun.
That's so cool.
Yeah, there were a lot of people came out of that. Like a lot of actors, like you said, a lot of actors were extras, and you see like cameos, which at the time weren't cameos because
Yeah,
these people
they
were
were nobody.
unknown. They were
Right.
they were undiscovered yet. But you go back and you're like, oh, that's so and so, and
Yeah.
that's so. There's so many of those in Miami Vice. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was not one of them. Right.
Well, you
I mean,
you're
kind
on
of.
you're on the
You
road.
are now.
Hey, right.
Well, I mean, so that's a good like segue into how many followers do you have on YouTube right now?
So I'm just under 21,000.
Attention all laser owners and crafters. Are you tired of spending hours cutting, painting, and assembling laser products? Look no further than the Crazy Laser Dad's Laser Ready Blanks.
Their high quality blanks are expertly sourced and tested and ready to use on your laser. Say goodbye to the hassle and frustration of time consuming projects and hello to more time creating and selling.
Plus, with their wide selection of items, you'll surely find the perfect blank for your customers.
Visit crazylaserdad.com today and take your laser crafting to the next level with their laser ready blanks.
Are you tired of endlessly joining jump rings?
There's gotta be an easier way.
Are your wrists aching after numerous orders? Introducing Keychain Thingies, the time-saving solution for anyone making keychains.
It's so fast and easy.
These revolutionary plastic thingies make large or multiple orders a snap. So easy, even a child can do it.
That was so easy.
So what are you waiting for? Go to keychainthingies.com and order now. Keychain Thingies will change your life. However, they should not be used to cure any medical ailments, repair broken relationships, or help lose weight. Do not use Keychain Thingies unless you want to save time and aggravation.
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
and it's
awesome.
funny. And here's what's funny: the amount of people that watch, the percentage of subscribers that watch is really on the lower side.
Right. Yeah.
So that number, I think, I'm trying to learn the analytics, but I think that number is more for me and my ego than it is for actually,
That's fine.
But
Right.
got to feed it somehow.
You got some
right?
street cred.
Right?
right. So the whole thing started with, and it continues to be about teaching.
Yeah.
This is what I'm learning, and how can I teach that other person to do it? So that's that's the backbone of what all it is.
Yeah. Do you actually sell any physical products to any like friends or family members, or do you just play around with stuff and then like give away whatever you make?
So it's funny. My wife has several shops, like vendor-based shops in Florida and here in North Carolina.
Nice.
And so I would start making things, and then I can't throw them away. What do I do? with them?
Right.
So initially, and this was back when we lived in Florida, I would
normally
take tumblers.
we all hoard them. That's what we do. We
Well,
hoard
I
them. We
did,
don't
but
do
then
anything
she's
with
like-
them.
Well, she's like, you got to get rid of some of this stuff. And I'm like, so I took literally an apple basket, and put like 15 tumblers in it and put it in her space. And
Yeah.
she's like, it does not match. Very beautiful space she has, but it did,
Right.
my Pepto-Bismol tumbler did not match with her space. So
Right.
she shoved it in a corner, but they sold. And so,
Take that,
she said,
wife.
"What?" Right. And so I'm like, well, let me get my own little space here. And I got a little spot and started really selling them. So that became the avenue for anything I would make. Then I would
Nice.
make a bunch of them and continue to make them if I needed to and put them there. And so
Yeah.
that the same thing happened when we moved back to North Carolina. She had a space, I got a space, and then I got a second space to be able to put, a lot of these things that I make in.
Yeah. That's
It's
so
funny.
cool.
Sometimes I'll be like, "Ugh, I don't want to make more stuff to sell. I want to make stuff to make for the first time, make a YouTube video out of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
still find time for that?
Yeah. I mean, for the YouTube or for the selling
Just
stuff?
in general. Yeah.
Right? Yeah, I got to do it all because the
Mhm.
selling stuff helps to fund YouTube
True.
and and the things that my wife wants to buy, and
Right.
so it's a nice little business for us. So yeah, I sell a lot of hats and journals and
Yeah.
and for me, and it even was with sublimation, and it's just as much so with lasering is. And I did a video on bamboo pins that
Mhm.
it's what you put on it too. You can't
Yeah.
just put something on it. It's got to be fun, emotional,
Yep.
sarcastic. It can't
Yep.
just be something. And I
Right.
saw with sublimation a lot of people that would do fantastic work, but then some would come in and put something. I'm like, it's not pretty. It's
Yeah.
not.
Right.
It's not. Who's going to buy it? Who's
Right.
going to buy it?
Mhm.
And so for me, on a personal level, I love designing stuff.
Yeah.
And so, so when I did tumblers, I did a lot of tumblers I shouldn't have done, and I ended up not selling them and throwing them away. But it was like, I can actually make that tumbler,
Yeah.
And so I enjoyed the creating part, and I used Photoshop to do it. And so now I love doing it in for lasers. Like I just made some journal files that I think are hilarious.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm into right now.
I
and
mean,
then I
I
sold-
think
yep.
I think you're pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
So we've been friends on Facebook for like a day. And so Facebook, like when you have a new friend, they like push out all their
Right.
stuff to you.
Yeah.
So I saw like a bunch of his posts from like the last few days or stuff.
Right.
And they're all ones that I probably would have shared as well because they're just
Right.
funny, snarky, goofy.
Yeah.
So, and like that's, if I start selling like physical products again, that's what
Right.
I would want to sell
Yep.
because that's the stuff that makes me laugh. I'd rather laugh like while I'm making stuff or make people laugh when I post it. Like, fine, if you don't want to buy it, that's fine. But hopefully at least
Yep.
I made you laugh today,
Yeah, and one of my two spaces, and part of the other one is almost all that. Like
love
last
it.
year, I probably sold enough $4 quart toasters to buy a laser. It was insane
That's
the amount
awesome.
that I sold, but they were all snarky. My
Yeah,
cat and I
I-
talk shit about you. My dog and I talk shit about you.
Yes.
Shit show supervisor. Those kinds of
Yes.
things. And
Yeah.
people just, and there were some that had, town of Wake Forest,
Right.
and they sold, but not like the snarky ones.
Yeah. Did you ever make the cork trivets? The like,
No.
or what? Yeah. The things you put on our hot pans.
Oh, right.
I made
No, I know
those,
what
drop
you mean, and I
it, drop
need
it
to
like
do
it's
those too,
hot,
yeah.
and yeah.
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 So when you started your YouTube, that was when you were doing sublimation stuff, and like, how did that grow? And then my other question, I'm going to ask it now 2-part because I'm going to forget. What other lasers do you have now? Do you still just have the
Okay.
F1, or do you have
Great question.
more?
He's got to get some extra.
Really? Really great question.
Has to,
Wait,
has
what
to
was the
hydrate.
first question? Okay, YouTube.
Yes.
So how did I start? So YouTube began because I couldn't find some of the things that I wanted to do, that I wanted to learn to do on the, well, first off on sublimation. And there's a lot of misinformation out there. There would be people that say, "Oh, put it in an any oven will work, and you can use your regular oven." And I quickly found out you can't. The gases
Right.
from that,
Lies.
the potential, while small, the potential to grow a third arm, and you don't really want that. And so,
Right.
It depends on where
so
the
there
arms
was a
grow.
lot of Right. So there's a lot of learning, and there were many videos that I said, I don't know the answer to this, but here's how I'm doing it.
Yeah.
You might want to research before you go further. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so so that kind of started with that, and I found out, because it really wasn't driven because of monetization. It was driven because I enjoy talking,
Well,
and teaching.
Yeah, and side note with the monetization, it's really freaking hard.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not
Big
hard
time.
for some, but, you know, we've been on YouTube for, 5 years.
Yeah.
And then with the podcast, 3 to 4 years. And we finally just hit 1,500 subscribers, but we're nowhere near monetization. With that 4,000 watch hours is what's
Well, and then
killing us,
and then
you know?
do
What do I know?
you do the
Well,
math. You go to Google and you do the
so here's-
math on how much you get for like per thousand or per million. And this and that. You're like,
we kind of stopped
whoa.
focusing on it. We're like, if it happens, great. If it happens organically, awesome. But like, even if we get monetization, once we finally get it, if our views stay about the same, we're gonna make like $15 a month. Like
I don't
who
know what
knows
to do with
what,
that $3 I just made.
right? Woo!
Yeah. Well, what's funny is, you need the 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours.
Right.
And so idiot me would look at the screen and go, well, I've got 1,200 subscribers, but I've only got 3,800 watch hours, or I only have 3,200 watch hours. And that would vary. I'd never get to 4,000, not paying attention. And one day I realized I was looking at that. That was for the last 28 days.
oh, wow.
So I click and I'm like, oh, I could have monetized myself 10 months ago.
Oh no.
So I apply, and 3 days later I'm monetized, and I didn't know what to do with my first 52 cents,
Right.
So,
Don't spend it all in one place.
It's funny, there once in a while somebody will message me from one of my Facebook groups, and they'll go, I want to get monetized. How do I go about doing it? And my response is always the same. It's like, if you're going to get on YouTube, enjoy what you're doing and don't worry about that. But you can't, I still do not make any money to be able to fund the amount of money I put into it to be able to do the videos. I mean, I've got a nice camera, I've got some nice lighting, and it'll take a long time to pay for that through YouTube,
Yeah.
So it really, I think, needs to be about the fun and the teaching for two reasons. One is, I don't know, I mean, people do it, but I don't know how you would do it just focused on monetizing.
Right.
And it will organically, like you said, organically follow if it's going to.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. And that's, Kim and Garrett, they have several streams, with Patreon and that kind of stuff. But, they're one of the ones that I'm sure, I don't know, but they could possibly be the one type who maybe could possibly survive on monetization of YouTube alone.
Absolutely.
I'm not sure, but they have 100,000 subscribers. They do 3 weekly videos, like 1 weekly video and 2 weekly lives. And if they go on vacation, it screws up all their numbers, and then they have to kind of get that back going. And it's possible. And again, if you put your mind to anything and you research and see what kind of things will get you there, that's great, but you still also have to have that passion and that drive for it. And then you really just kind of hope that it happens organically, that you're just making videos because you love sharing the knowledge. And I think it's funny, if when you said something earlier, you said that you would look for videos and you wouldn't see that the videos were out there, so you felt like you should make some. And that is my first thought anytime I can't find videos on something is, oh, no one's making these videos, I should. So we just joined for John's course that should hopefully be coming out soon. We joined Go Modern, which was a cheaper version of Kajabi to run his course, because I love Kajabi, but it's $200 a month. And so, Go Modern was $100 a month. So I was like, let's figure this out. Well, everything they have, it's all text instructions. I don't do well with those.
Right.
I can read it 4 times and still have no idea what you're talking about. Can't find what you're saying I should go to. And then also it can get outdated easily if they update things, but then don't update their instructions and all of that. And my first thought is, well, I think I need to make Go Modern videos because I couldn't find any on YouTube.
Right.
And so, because it's like, I want to help there has to be someone else who struggled with this like I did. And it's likely someone who has ADHD as well, because I learned that you struggle with text instructions. And then recently I make not a lot. I have probably under 15, but I plan to make more silhouette YouTube videos. And Silhouette America actually reached out to me and wanted me to become an affiliate because they found my videos and stuff. And that's again something that you can hope can be an accidental, like organic, next path to it. I honestly didn't even know that they had affiliates, so it wasn't even like on my radar of something I should think about. And then I'm also not using their software the way it was intended. It's not for a vinyl cutter, it's for a laser. And so thankfully they're super open to that, but I didn't know if they would be, or because it depends on where they want to go with their business, if that falls into it, or not. But even if it makes you, I always think because right now Etsy's not making me a ton of money because I haven't put out a new file in forever, but I still make some money. And, some months it's a couple $100, some months it's probably $20 to $50, but that's an extra $20 or $50 that I didn't have to do anything special for. And the more of those like random streams of money that you have come in, that's that cushion to hold you over if like your main one is a little bit low or whatever.
Yeah.
So is that kind of what it is for you as well? It's just one of a few things that kind of bring in.
Yes. Yeah. So we have, for a revenue stream, I've got a pension and we have a couple of businesses in Florida and a couple of businesses up here, which is our business, right? YouTube is not a business. I mean, it is in that I've got I want to be consistent, and that's kind of hard for me.
So hard.
Because that ADHD kicks in, and I'm like, oh, look over here, let's do this, and then, oh wait, I got a video I got to do. And so I think I'm starting to get to the point to where I'm creating scripts, I'm going over the script, and the process that I'm doing is making it a little bit easier. And just before the conference is when I really started doing shorts. I never did shorts before. I think I did 2 in 2 years because I'm like, well, they're not going to make money, and not that many people watch them until well, Blake is the one that told me you need to do shorts because that will drive traffic to the long form. It does.
I actually just looked at our analytics yesterday, and a huge portion of the people who came to our channel came from shorts. At the very least, they're watching our shorts, even if they're not watching our long form content. And that's still someone on your channel for any amount of time, which is a benefit.
Yeah. And, you talk about the different revenue streams. I've got, I'll put Amazon links on there, and I think I probably get a good whopping $20 or $30 a month from Amazon. So it's not even enough to realize that it's there. I've got a place that I get my hats from. I put an affiliate link there. I believe in everything that I put an affiliate link in. And I'll give you an example. I have a lady that has a tumblers, and as with most tumblers, they're based out of China. And so I would buy tumblers by the case from her, and she. I still use her. I hadn't bought tumblers in a while, but she's my go-to. Yeah. And they were quick. You've got to understand there's that 12-hour delay between here and China. Their thought process in business is very different. Someone once told me in America, we'll build committees and subcommittees and take 6 months to build something, and that takes money. Overseas, they'll build it. and then kind of mess it up and use the
Figure it
same
out
amount
later.
of money to fix
Yep.
it. Right.
Right.
And so there's different mindset, and
Yeah.
and a lot of people get frustrated at the conversations, and when
Mm-hmm.
reality they're speaking their language and we're speaking ours. But she was
Right.
great, and so after about a year maybe of using her a little less, I was like, "Do you guys have an affiliate program?"
Mhm.
And she's like, "Well, yeah." And so I started. I was already telling people go to Chloe.
Right.
Go to
Anyway,
Chloe.
yeah.
Yeah, and now I'm like, just go using this link. At the end of the
Yeah.
day, if you don't use the link, I'm not go to her.
Right.
And I think I got like 3% of the sales, so it was not much, right?
Right.
Right.
But what a lot of people don't realize is I had 2 other companies reach out to me, both wanting to give me 5%, and I had gotten a case of tumblers from each one and had different problems with each one.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to do it. I could make
Right.
more going through them, but I'm
Right.
not going to do it.
Yeah,
because I
but
don't
at
like
what benefit? Because then you're gonna your credibility is very important
Right.
as an affiliate marketer. Because we all have, those people that we potentially follow or used to follow, and you're just pushing it because they
pushing
sent
it.
you something for free, or
Yep.
you want the affiliate marketing, not one person that I kind of look up to as someone I want to do affiliate marketing and that's Stephanie Murphy with the Country Porch Swing. Because if she's pushing an affiliate link for something, it's because she's used it for months or used it for a while, really enjoys it. Maybe, I don't even know if she's the kind to say, has never used it before, but puts that as a huge disclaimer. I haven't used this before, but if you want this discount, this is here, but know that I don't even know that she has done that, but she would if it was something brand new to her. And she'll post a million posts about lasers and not really say anything about her affiliate link. And then every once in a while throw her affiliate link and kind of just say, use it if you want to. If you don't, that's okay too,
Mine too. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it goes into your credibility too, because if these people order, a case of tumblers from your video and you're raving about them or saying, hey, use them, they're great.
Right.
And, 30% of the tumblers they get, they can't use. They're going to be like, well, I'm not going to trust any recommendations from him
Anything else he says.
going forward. Right.
And I'll give you another really good example of that, Lone Star adhesive. So way back, probably a year ago, I reached out to Josh with Lone Star and messaged him and said, hey, listen, I'm doing these hats now. I'm using you in another company, and I'd love to partner with you to collaborate to do some stuff.
Yeah.
And I think he might have responded, yeah, that's great, and it was crickets. And there was another leatherette company I reached out to, and they were actually extremely nice as far as absolutely, we'll send you some stuff, blah, blah, blah. We don't have affiliate yet, but then I never heard from them. And so I just started doing my own thing. I used a little bit of both of them, and then I started gravitating towards Lone Star more.
Yeah.
And now that's all I use is Lone Star. And when they came out, or when they had the Heritage Collection longer than I was late to the game. But when I discovered it and realized, oh, wow, it's clean now. I mean, it just amazed me how easy it could clean. And so I became a huge fan. And so I think 1 or 2 of the videos that I released talking about it, I wasn't an affiliate yet with them. And then I reached out to them and said, I love your stuff. I love it, genuinely love it, and I'm going to promote it.
Right, regardless,
Yeah, you got to, and they're like, sure, sign up.
Yeah,
And so when it's all said and done, if I'm talking about Lone Star on a video, I love it if somebody clicks the link because it'll give me 5 cents or 8 cents or 10 cents.
Right.
But at the end of the day, use Lone Star because they're good.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so for me, it's certainly, matter of fact, I was talking to one of the vendors in Grapevine, and he said, yeah, he goes, you want an affiliate link? And I'm like, I guess that's not the right. way to do it though. And then I was talking to Blake, and Blake's like, get the affiliate link. I mean, if you're going to sell it anyway, get the affiliate link, and he's right. But when it was said and done, the drive wasn't because of the affiliate, it was because of the really cool product,
Yeah.
So I wish everybody knew that.
Right. Yeah. So lasers. How many lasers do you have now? Do you have just the F1, or do you have others?
So I have the
now?
F1. I have the F1 Ultra.
Nice.
I have a We Create. It wasn't the Vision; it was before the Vision. And then I just got a Lumos, a We Create Lumos, and I got a laser pecker 4
Nice.
last year. So I will tell you that the laser pecker was not. I'm sure there's goodness to it, but I couldn't click with it. Part of it, the way the cover was. I will tell you, there's probably 6 or 8 companies that have reached out to me that I've said no, because I don't want to waste their time or I don't want to run somebody through the ringers, but at the same time, I don't want to waste my time, trying to do it. And I'm not going to lie. And I'll say that anytime somebody, when We Create sent me the Lumos, they're like, I said, I'm going to tell the truth. I said, there are going to be comparisons between this and the F1, and I love the F1. Are you okay with that? And they said, yep, bring it on. Which that in of itself kind of impressed me a little bit.
Well, and then, there's the other side of the affiliate portion of then sometimes, depending on the affiliate program, there's an obligation. So, depending on the program, especially if they send you a machine, a lot of times, which, for good reason, there's requirements of how many videos you're going to put out, how often, what kind of, continuing content are you going to provide to continue to get this benefit. And a lot of times I didn't sign up for some of them because I'm like, I can't promise you that. I can't promise the follow through necessarily.
Well, with mine, I've been fortunate that they've all been very open. Okay. And one person reached out to me about 4 months ago and said, we need you to blank, 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 blank. And I said, I'm not going to do that. And they're like, well, okay, well, how about so-and-so, with We Create, they sent me the Lumos, and it's a great laser. I'm really, really impressed with it. I don't want to have to make the decision on that over an F1. I'll tell you, I love XCS. So because of that, I'm always going to lean, kind of that way. But that We Create is an amazing machine. They said, well, I said I could do a couple of different things. I could take it to a market. Well, boy, they bid on that really hard. They're like, take it to a market, take it to a market, take it to a market. And I said, I will, but I need a fume extractor. And I don't have one because the place that I take it is indoors. Right. And they're like, well, we don't know if we can get you one. I'm like, that's fine. I just can't do the market. I don't. You don't have to give me one, but I just can't do the market. And so out for delivery today is that fume extractor because they want to do the market,
Nice. Yeah.
So, and when it's said and done, there are several laser companies that I don't know them. I don't know of them. I know that it would be more work than I want to do, and probably more work than most of the people that watch my videos that are on the newer side. Somebody that's new, they should get a We Create or a F1. Brand new is easy. It's like I'm an Apple fan. It's like the Apple of computers. It's easy. Plug it in, and you're good to go. So.
Totally.
Yeah, that's one thing I loved about the F1 when we got it. Was
he was running it in 2 seconds. He ran it before. He's run the F1 more than I have.
As a matter of fact, we have a 50-watt fiber laser, and for when we did the studio open house and ribbon cutting, we decided to make a bunch of pens.
The LED pens.
The LED pens because we had them laying around. And they're always a hit when you do something with them. Yeah. So we decided to make them, and I put them on the fiber because I was like, oh, well, this is going to be faster. So I'm just going to put it on the fiber, do the settings. We had messed around with the lenses. Thanks a lot, Blake. But no, we had messed around with the lenses, and I wasn't sure which lens and what settings I used for that lens and this and that, and
he did just, a bunch of tweaking, but had basically
I messed up
one whole pen. There's no space left.
I'm like, you know what? And I just reached over, brought the F1 on, put it in, put the design in.
2 seconds.
Like just put what I figured the settings would be. Did it? Turned it on. I'm like, how does that? And I went to my quality assurance, and she's like, that looks pretty good. I'm like, done. And then I just ran through
and they were still really quick. I mean, the fiber would have been quicker had we had settings dialed in. And that's one huge benefit to the F1, which we can talk about on the other part. But, so Connie with Fiber Focus, the Facebook group, and Emily are actually coming out with a course on fibers. Okay. Because I mean, one, because there's a huge need for it. There's not a lot of content, especially
Right.
not a lot of content from females, which
Right.
that is important when there's a lot of female
Right.
business
Well-
owners who just seeing someone who kind of looks and sounds like you is more comfortable when learning from them.
And I will also say, in watching and diving into the fiber content, because when we got it, I was like gonna run it and stuff like that. It is very tech heavy and easy CAD and all like it's just very techy and very like these is like
you need someone to dumb it down for you.
You do, because there are so many like there's so many different settings that you can mess with to make things happen.
Yep.
And sometimes you just like, well, all I want to do is this. I don't really want all those.
Right.
I don't need to know like the size of the dot and all
Right.
this. And I mean, listen, shout out to his name. I just
Laser
had
everything?
his
Alex.
Alex. You know, he has a super in-depth
Tons
I
of
did his
information.
I watched his 101 thing to get our fiber set up.
Yeah.
And
It helped a
Lightburn and
lot.
stuff. It helped
Yeah.
tremendously.
Right.
But he's very like particular, and he goes into like almost like the history of how the laser like works.
I don't need to know that.
And it's great.
Personally.
It was awesome, but I was like in the time I just like wanted to set it up.
Right.
Well, and like I watched this later, but
so-
I need the cliff notes.
Yeah, so I told Connie in the comments, she was like, "Oh, it's coming soon. I think they put out like their wait list or something for it." And I said, "Good, hurry, because I'm about to sell this thing, because
Right.
it's a $4,500 piece of equipment that we never use because we don't have the patience
Paperweight.
to work on the settings and stuff." And she was like, no, I won't allow it. And I was like, okay. And then there were 4 or 5 other people who co-signed with
Right.
me
Well, a lot
that
of people
they're
bought 'em.
struggling. They were all the rage, and everyone bought them. And then they're a completely different beast
just-
compared to CO2s.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, finding that equipment that you enjoy, like you enjoy the F1, that is so huge in success.
Well, and I'll tell you where I am right now. I've got a good company that right before I went to the conference said, we'd like to send you this machine. I had heard of the company, but I wasn't sure. I asked Daniel with a Live Pixel Creates, who was one of those guys I got to meet, and was just so glad I got to meet him.
Yeah.
Great guy.
And then you guys went on a mandate after.
Right? I was a
tell you
little
one
jealous
thing,
of the
man.
mandate.
I tell you. And so we did, and I had the brisket.
Yeah.
So I'll talk about top right.
Yeah.
Okay. Brisket
Yeah, right.
ribs.
Sorry, focus.
Right, focus. Right. There, shiny silver thing. And so, so this laser, Daniel said it's a phenomenal laser.
Yeah.
Have them send it to you and
Right.
use
Get it. Yeah.
So here's the challenge. I really want a P3.
Yeah.
I'm 90% sure I won't get one, right?
Mm.
But I would love to have it. But there's 2 reasons I would love to have that. One is just a beautiful machine that I think is going to be somewhat simplistic based on other machines.
Yep.
But also it's XCS. It's creative space
Yep.
that I love, right?
Mhm.
Guess how many times I've been on Lightburn?
Yeah. Well, and I use Lightburn but only to run my laser. I literally know just enough about Lightburn so that I
To get it
can
going.
bring in the file, do my
Right.
settings, and hit send. So,
Right,
and I
right.
mean, I've heard amazing things about the P2. So
Right.
I can only assume that the P3 would be just as great, if not
Yeah.
better.
Yeah. And the thing for me is I know I need Lightburn. I need to learn it. I need to know it because I want to teach it. Because I want
Right.
first off, I don't want to turn down a really good product because I don't
True.
know how to use software. Right.
Right.
So I need to. So there's a couple of reasons why I need to learn it.
Yeah.
And I'll probably end up getting that laser because it's a fantastic. Daniel's like it's the laser I use most of the time. It's a great
Oh,
laser.
is it the orange one? Does it have
I
like the
think it
orange
does.
casing? I forget the name of
It's
it.
not the newest one that he just got.
No, not that one. He has one that he talked to us about it when he was on
Did
like
he?
the first time, and he swears by I forget the name of it.
Yeah.
But all I know is that it has like the orange, like
Yeah.
the
Mm.
cover is
Yep.
orange because that's like what stands out
Yeah.
about it to me anyway. And he
Yeah.
raved about it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Cool.
So I mean, I want to get it. I think it'd be great. Part of my challenge is my my physical locations. This studio I can only do talking head in because I'm touching a wall right now, and I'm almost
Right.
touching a wall right there.
Right.
It was not even a closet; it was a little storage room. And so
Yeah.
I've got a loft right out here that's really nice, but my wife has very different plans for it, and
Right.
there's no way to extract. There's no windows, and so. And we're in a townhouse, so I've asked my neighbor, could I run a thing through into your, and he said no. And so I'd have to go through a couple of walls to get out to outside going other ways.
What about up?
And so I can go up. My wife is very nervous about I'm not doing it. She's like, you're not doing it.
Yeah, she's just no.
Think you can do it? You're not doing it.
I mean,
and
there's
so
events already.
Well, I'm looking at a good fume extractor, right?
Yeah.
And so I was just telling her she's got right at 47,000 followers for home decor on Instagram. She's been on Instagram for a long time. She knows what she's doing, and so I think I've talked her into trying to make that loft the space that you could sit down on a sofa and watch TV, very clean, very nice. I could do some of the videos out there that require the equipment, because right now my equipment's in my garage. And I hate that. I hate that.
Yeah.
And so I have to go in and zoom in really close so I don't get all my other gack from the garage. Hope that there's no reflection of me, that it's just, and so I want to be able to do that. And then she goes, yeah, but where would the lasers go? And I'm like,
in there.
There.
Yeah.
And so she scratched her head and walked away. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. But,
Yeah.
I will say, when we had a couple weeks ago, when we had Frankie on from Trotech, and he had the Tro van out here, he has his laser in the van and the fume extractor, and he did the tumbler.
Yeah.
Didn't smell a thing.
No.
So that was a really good fume. Like,
well,
and
he had plenty of room in there. The three of us were in that van and didn't feel like.
Right. I was just talking to how good the fume extractors could be, because again, he did a tumbler. We were in the van. At one point, we even closed the door because it was so hot. Still let the AC cool the van down. And we couldn't smell a thing.
Yeah, I was impressed that you couldn't smell anything, and two, that there was enough space in that van and it was a full-size laser. It was not maybe on the smaller end of the Trotex, but it was a full-size laser.
I would say it was like it wasn't quite the 9. It was like in between the 9 and the 7 of Eon mirrors.
Probably more like the 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I reached out to a company. Actually, I sent them an email this morning, and I don't know if it got to the right person or not, saying I got a great collaboration idea, because there would be a whole bunch of videos about creating the space. And, there are a lot of people in my position that don't have a way to get outside. And so, I said, we should talk about a collaboration, because you could get because they really could get a lot of bang for their buck on me comparing the cost that it would be to get outside versus the cost of that. How well it works, and then every video that I do is going to have that in the background.
A mention.
Every laser video. So we'll see what happens. If not, I'll get one. I'll probably buy one, because that's that's going to be the way to go, I think, for me to get a nice size laser, which I need, because it's just a laser, right?
So before we get into the Patreon side of things, where can people find all of your YouTube channels? Where can they find you and all that stuff? So I'm in North Carolina. If you'll go, you don't want to know that part. So if you want them to come knock on your door, I know, right? Come on over. YouTube is Industrial Fringe, and if you just go to YouTube and type Industrial Fringe, you will find it. And that's really where my love and passion is twofold right now. It's making stuff, and it's showing how to make stuff. And so that YouTube is kind of the baby right now that I'm really working on, trying to get good content, new content. And like you said earlier, Crystal, stuff that's I don't want to say dumbed down, but for the new person, but then also for intermediate as well. Yeah. And then I've got a design website, industrialfringedesigns.com. That has those Snarky journal files on it. And I've got about 8 more that I need to add to it. And it's got a bunch of old Tumblr designs. There's a couple of patch designs that I put on probably a year ago. So I need to go in and refresh that. But for some really cool journal Snarky designs, that's definitely the place to go. Well, and so we don't have a code yet. Would Riley Black work
for the
I
10% off?
sent you a code. I
Did
sent
you?
you a code. Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh wait, no, here it
It
is
was
at the
short.
bottom. TRBP 10. Through
TRBP 10.
TRBP 10 for 10% off, and that's through the end of the year.
Nice.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
join Patreon.
check
That's
that
why-
out. I'm gonna have to. My snarky self is curious too. So
Even if you,
I'm gonna
if
go
you
ahead
want
and-
deeper discounts, join
Okay,
Patreon.
and here's something
Yes.
that's cool. Well, I don't know if it's cool. My definition of cool is probably different than everybody else's. But here's something that's really neat. All of the files fit perfectly on the Lone Star journals. Because I had
smart.
gotten Lone Star, and I'm like, I love this journal that these Lone Star people are doing too. And
Yeah.
so I made the files to fit perfectly on those.
Nice. Good
Nice.
to know.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah.
We just, I mean, we'll talk about that on the Patreon part, but we just started working with Lone Star a lot in several ways. One, we went out there and filmed content, and then we also have keychain thingies on Lone Star's website as well. And I see all the leather and the hats and all that in the groups all day, and I'm like, nope, don't do it. Like, look away from the shiny
Listen,
things.
that
Yeah.
like tricolor
I know,
and
tricolor's hard to
and
dial in though.
all that stuff is like it's yeah.
It is the holographic, like leatherette.
Yeah, but even their physical products, the journals are awesome.
Yeah.
They are.
Yeah.
They are really, really
I'm gonna
nice.
have to grab some of those.
Their leatherette coasters are really cool. The bottle, I mean, they have some really cool stuff.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
hats are awesome hats.
I'm waiting patiently for those magnetic can dusters.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've already.
grabbing some of those.
Josh is like, oh, there's a red to black one coming out.
Nice.
I'm like, yep, I'm there.
We'll need that.
I'm there.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Well,
funny.
That'll wrap up our Gen Pop. Stick right there because we're gonna shift this over to Patreon, where it's gonna get good. But the life updates up next, and we are back, and so is the hat.
His beard is
It's not. It's not
slowly.
back. My beard
No,
is
but there's
not
a 5
back,
o'clock
but
shadow, and I'm very
it
happy.
is. It's
So last
slowly
night
coming back.
I went to like grab his face for some reason. I think I was talking about the 5 o'clock shadow.
No, we were doing the content.
No. When we
Oh.
were sitting on the couch
Oh, okay.
last night, and I grabbed his face, and it finally wasn't like dewy, if that makes sense. So like when he shaves,
It wasn't skin.
and it's just straight skin, I don't know. I don't like how it feels.
Yeah, this was a horrible
And
idea for a great cause.
It really was. It really was.
the
And
best way to
honestly,
describe it.
speaking about that, so a lot of people donated and they didn't even know what the cause
Yes.
was, and a lot of people donated because they did know what the cause was.
When
So
they found out
just
about
to
it.
reiterate, it was for our friend Mario, aka Dre Lane, who
Episode
we have
178.
had on the podcast before. And when we had him on the podcast last year, he was like 3 months into a potential you only have 6 months left like diagnosis. And he's still battling really hard, and cancer is it's currently destroying his pelvis. His recent update, as oncologist, he shares a lot of it with everyone because we're all just so invested in his story and his progress. And the oncologist was like, a lot of times people walk in and, they match their scans. They look like what their scans are representing. And thankfully, on one side of it, that Mario doesn't represent that.
Yeah.
He went hiking 6 weeks ago. He probably shouldn't have. But
Right.
he has been on and off crutches, this last few weeks because of, what was going on with his pelvis and his hip with the cancer and stuff. But on the surface, he looks great. And, the oncologist was like, you're one of those patients that you don't look like how bad your
Right.
scans look.
Right. You shouldn't look this good.
Right. And so we raised the $910 just from straight cash
Yes.
donations.
Thank you, everyone who
Yes.
donated.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to those who went, who like, oh, I don't have cash, went got cash and came
Yeah.
back.
It was amazing.
Yeah, and those of you watching last right before we gave our bags over to Jess to count, people started coming up and giving
that
like,
was awesome.
last
Even
minute
after we
donation.
counted, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I was letting him know that I sent the transfer the other day, and he was MakerFlow matched a portion of the donations as well, and then another person. He didn't really want to be mentioned, I don't think, but I'm going to mention him anyway. Josh with Lone Star, you're amazing. Thank you. But he matched some as well, and so I was just telling Mario, aka Dre Lane, about that, and he was telling me how it really helps him because right now they are he's preparing to go to Mexico for a treatment center. I've actually heard about it through other people I follow on Instagram who went there as well for a lot of people with either stage 3, stage 4 cancer go there as like a last ditch effort of and there's been people who it's helped either like put them into remission or at least put them into remission temporarily, give them more life, any additional life that he can get out of life that he's not just miserable right now is a benefit. Every day that he wakes up is a bonus day, is an extra day.
If you caught the shaving video,
so it's going to help that.
That day when I shaved, that day he was going through kidney surgery.
Yep.
So,
literally almost at the same time, oddly enough. That was not planned.
No.
But
we didn't find out until the night after we did the podcast. That he posted about his kidneys. And everything like that, and he was going into surgery, when we got back. So it wasn't planned, but it just kind of worked out that way.
So I mean, anytime that I think about the days that like stress me out or the small kind of insignificant things, I think about, the things that he has to think about and struggle with every single day. And in the grand scheme of things, it's just a lot of that stuff just does not matter. So if you're struggling in other ways, use his story as like, just sometimes you need that kind of check to be like, oh, okay, like, sure, things still suck, right? You can't avoid that. There's going to be things that are frustrating or hard or difficult.
Your hardest battle is your hardest battle.
Exactly. And, not to diminish that. I can't speak today. But just, think of him, think of other people that that, there's a lot of other battles. And sometimes all we need to know is like, oh, okay, like there are bigger issues out there, and in the grand scheme of things, if this is the hardest thing for me right now, then I'm still winning. And sometimes just shifting that focus in the moment is all you need to do to kind of get out of it, because if you get stuck in that like everything sucks phase, everything is going to suck, because it's kind of like what you've surrounded yourself in. It's what your thoughts are and all that stuff. So just a longer tangent than I planned, but
stay positive.
Yes. But Texas, as always, it was amazing. There's definitely it's next level. It was great. I wish we would have had more time to mingle than we did. So we'll definitely be making some adjustments to next year to see if we can accomplish that.
Huge shout out to Will, Mark, Tabitha, MJ, everyone who volunteered.
They were there at the drop of the hat when we needed something, when it was time for us to come in and load. They were there with carts, and the team they have with the 4 of them plus extended volunteers, Mark's wife, everyone who was involved was just a pleasure
I saw Danny
to work with,
helping out.
So it was a really good event. I'm looking forward to next year. I'm looking forward to being able to actually see other people, because there's a lot of people I barely saw, and people who apparently didn't see me, because by the second day my feet were killing me. So I was sitting down and up, and I think that's why a lot of people didn't think that I was there. I've heard it twice, and it kind of bothered me a little bit, because I'm like, I did barely leave to go to the bathroom. So I mean, I think most of these, if you're a patron and you're near Atlanta or near North Carolina, we're going to be at those 2 events coming up.
Did you say if you're a patron?
Yes, because by the time this airs, it's already going to be past those events.
True.
So, but yeah, if you're a patron, join us
Yes.
in those. And if not, we hope to be
Come see the hat in
going
person.
to more in the future. If you have any events that you're running, let us know. And if we're able to make it, we'll try and
for sure.
join you.
Open houses, meetups. Yeah.
Those are the fun ones too, the kind of smaller ones, because they're a lot more like intimate, and you can have like those conversations just a little bit easier because it's just not so many people packed into such, a couple days. So
Yeah. So with that, it's been another great episode of the Red Black Project. Chris and John.
Bye.
Maybe we're all done. The Red Black Project. Bye.
Say bye.
Bye.
Wait, hold on. Nino, I'm recording.